So hi everyone. Today we have Stephen again to talk a little about leadership.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're continuing to have a great week here at Washington Business Week. Um, Yashvi wanted me to say an interesting fun fact about myself. I think I gave you all I had yesterday. So she had an amazing question. Let me think of a fun fact. But before I give my fun fact, how many of you did your homework last night? I need to show of hands because it's important to me. I see one, two, three, four, five. Fair enough. So, an interesting fun fact about me. Um, um, don't laugh. I moved to Seattle 5 years ago because I'm a Grey's Anatomy fanatic. I see some people laughing. Yashvi, stop laughing. Um, I drove across country because I was fascinated with riding the ferry, and I love me some Grey's Anatomy. So that's how I ended up in Washington 5 years ago, and I'm living out my dream. So if you've never seen Grey's Anatomy, go check it out from the first season. It's been a long time running, so that's something interesting about it. All right, all the giggling out, good. All right, so my ask is give me the same energy as we had Monday and Tuesday. However, I want to hear from some news. I see a lot of people on this call that I haven't heard their voice, haven't seen their face. I want to talk to somebody other than Kai and Adrian. Can we do that today? Some of you shy people, can we do that today? If not, it's okay. I know they'll take me to the finish line. So I want to. So day one and day two, I wanted to be a little, this was a little information. I was sitting in my teacher seat for an hour with you guys. Today, I want to be a little bit more motivational and inspirational to you. Leadership is my passion. We'll talk about passion later on downstream, but I'm super, super duper passionate about leadership. I have a couple degrees in leadership. I've been in leadership for a minute now, both in industry and in higher ed. So I really want to peel the layers back about this particular topic as it relates to business, but it's going to get super personal with you guys today, okay? So I'm going to share my screen. Can you guys see me okay?
Yes.
See my screen? Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. All right, so let's get right into it. First day on Monday, I asked you, what is leadership? Was my question. I want to readdress that, and I want you to give me some describe and explain to me what you think leadership is, and I want to take a deep dive today. No surface level stuff. I want to take a deep dive today. Zaba, talk to me. What is leadership to you?
Hello, first of all, nice to see you back.
Thanks,
Leadership
sir.
to me is to making sure that your team is on the right path. It's also accountability, and leaders should be humble and listen to everyone's ideas.
Copy. Anybody else? Give me some hands. Talk to me. Miriam, hello. Talk to me. What is leadership
Hello.
to you?
Yeah, for me, leadership is correct distribution of work. You need to find someone who will do your job better while you are busy with more important things.
Oh, I like the distribution of work. I like that word. Nini, talk to me.
Leadership is the ability to guide, influence, and inspire individuals or groups to achieve common goals.
Influence is a great word, Nini. I want you to holster that for 1 second. Influence. I like that word. Rasha, talk to me.
I think leadership is being able to make decisions for the betterment of your team.
Betterment of the team. I have a question for you, Rasha, before we move forward. Are you the sole gatekeeper of the knowledge? Or are you making those decisions by yourself?
No, I'm talking with the team and
Nice response. Nice response. Anybody else want to chime in? Leadership. I'm gonna chime in with my what I think leadership is, and it's gonna be a couple slides. So I want you to bear with me here. Leadership to me is character. Character. Who are you? All right. That's one. Leadership to me is relationships. Who do you know? That's two. Leadership to me is your knowledge. What do you know? That's three. Leadership to me is your intuition. What are you feeling about the decision that you need to make or are going to make or have already made? as to intuition. Leadership is experience, your wisdom and knowledge. Now, most of you are super young. You'll gain this downstream, but as it relates to right now, you still have some experience to make this decision with the knowledge that you have gained up until this point. All right. So experience is important in leadership. Results, what have you done? I just don't blindly follow people. I'm super duper interested in, have you done this before? Can I trust you to make the best decision for the team? And your ability, what can you do? What have you done and what can you do? That's leadership to me. So my definition of leadership, we'll get to that in a second, is it's more than one thing. And I want all of you guys to realize it's not just X, it's X, Y, Z, A, B, C. All right. I have a question for you. You ready? What does success mean to you? I want you to describe and explain success to me. What does success mean to you? Thanks, Kai. Good to see you, my friend. Talk to me. What does success mean to you?
Good to see you too. For me, it's accomplishing my goal or, what my initial idea was and kind of like the feeling of accomplishment.
Okay, the feeling of accomplishment. I'll take that as it relates to a goal. Nutsa, hello, ma'am. How are you? Talk to me.
So I agree with him. I would say that it's achieving what you wanted to do.
So that's another word, achieving. All right. Miriam, talk to me. Success, what does it mean to
Yeah.
you?
For me, success is to change the world at least a little bit.
Okay. Change the world at least a little bit. I'll take that. Saba, talk to me. Success, what does it mean to you?
Success for me is not just a result. It's just a way of climbing on a mountain. So a mountain is the top point of your mission. So the hard way of climbing on it is my success, for example.
I like this. I like it's not a result. It's really the journey, and the result will
Yeah,
take care of itself.
I mean it. It's a journey. Yeah.
I tell my students that all the time. The learning is in the journey, not the grade. So when you come and take my class, whenever you come into college, that's what I'm going to tell you the first day. It's not the destination, it's the journey. Nice, Sab. I'm throwing you some
Yes.
virtual candy, so make sure you catch that. Anybody else?
I have a candy here, so I'm prepared.
Thanks, Sab. I appreciate that. Anybody else? Success, success, success. All right. So on some keys to success. Here's what I want from all of you. All right. I want you to believe in yourself, your talents and your skills that you have. I want you to have strong belief in that. I want you to have confidence. Somebody said this the other day. I think it was Adrian. Adrian, I want to see you pretty soon. Can I succeed? I will succeed. Then you have a choice in the matter. Everyone has the right to decide. Even by not deciding, you have decided. So success is a choice to me. And then motivation. What's your why? What is your why? You need to define that, whether it be what I tell money, power, respect, popularity. I don't care what it is. I do care, but I don't care. You have to decide what's your why. So to me, here is what success means to me. Here's my definition. Take a snapshot of this because I want you to remember the next time I see you downstream and you become famous, this is what I want you to tell me. Steve, I try to maximize my potential and my character, who I become, and my competencies. That's my skills and my abilities. That's what success means to me. That's what success means to me. Who I become and what I can do. All right. I have a question for you. I want to stop sharing my screen for a second because I want to see all of you. So bear with me. But this is going to be my question. All right. All right. I stopped sharing my screen. I can see all of you who have your cameras on. Are you ready? Here I go. I want a show of hands. How many of you believe you can be anything you want to be in life? Virtual hand, really hand, I don't care. So I have some people that I see that I don't see a hand up. All right. For those of you who don't believe that, I want you to share with me and my rest of my family. Why don't you believe that? For those of you who don't believe that, who didn't raise your hand, I want you to share with me why you don't believe that. I'm going back to sharing my screen, but I can still see you. So tell me why.
So I didn't raise my hand simply because I think for, for, the most part, for, for 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 the most and the majority of people, especially living in the US, I think that that's can be true. But at the same time, a lot of people are in situations where whether, you know, they want it or not, they have certain responsibilities that simply cannot be passed up on. And you know, maybe they want to go to college, and they want to seek higher education, but they need to get a job ASAP in order to take care of their mom or their family, you know, their dad maybe. And so, you know, maybe this person could have gotten a business degree and been an executive of a company, but instead had to take a job, um, I don't know, doing something that they didn't want to do, in order to support their family. Um, so I think for a lot of people, like they can be anything you want to be with hard work and dedication, but I think for some people, options are simply not available.
Woo! Thank you, Adrian. I don't know if I'm gonna get through my 30 slides today because Adrian he just opened a can of worms. Adrian, I have a question for you, and this is for all of you. What would you say if I told you I was 35 when I went back to school?
I would say good for you. Yeah, that's great.
I like that response, and I asked that question because you are correct. There are obstacles that make things difficult. However, if you want to go to school, you can go to school regardless of when that age. You get there when you get there is what I'm trying to tell you. So I hear you, but I will give you a little bit of pushback in saying it's still possible, even though there will be barriers in this journey. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a really good
Okay.
point.
Anybody else? Who else don't believe this? I saw a lot of people didn't raise their hands, so I guess I'm gonna assume that you're shy. You just don't want to talk to Steve, which is fair enough. Oh, Ben, hello, Ben. Good to see you back. Ben, talk to me.
Yeah, I think everyone can achieve it, but I think Adrian said this too, but it's like harder for some people than others.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes life throws us a curveball. But and here's what I want to be for you today. I want to be motivational for you today, and I want to be inspirational for you today. So all of you who have experienced hard times in life, even up into this early stage in your life, cool. We can overcome that together. All right. I check all the boxes of disadvantages, and I'm telling you, you can overcome that. Mom, dad separated, don't really have a relationship with my dad. Mom died early. I'm the only child. But we can still persevere through that and get to where we're trying to get to. Katie, hello, ma'am. Good to see you again. Talk to me.
Hello. No, I believe that I can achieve everything I want. I just wanted to say to them that as we said, success is a choice. And I remember that quote, it's not over until I win. So even though if you have that hard time in life, you can always come back. And as you get back to school at 35, we all have choice to be successful.
So by day, I'm a teacher, professor of business, and I tell my students, this thing isn't over until you say it's over. All right? It's not over until you say it's over. Is it hard? Yes. And I want you to continue to keep on pushing and pushing. Anybody else want to share why they don't think this is attainable? Here's what I would tell you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Who is that?
It's me, Sloan Duncan.
Hello, Duncan. How are you? Good to see you.
Hi. I don't know. I didn't raise my hand. I just feel like, yeah, there's a lot of limitations. There's a lot of people with like, disabilities that, it just may like not even be physically or mentally possible to get the job that you really want.
I want you to hold that thought, and I'm gonna come back and revisit that. All right. As we get further downstream in the presentation, I'm gonna come back and revisit that. Even with that disability, you've been blessed with gifts. You've been blessed with gifts. You just have to find your gifts. And that's plural, that's not one. All right. Even with. All right. So moving forward, you are the leader of your ship, the captain of your ship. You control your outcome. You can be anything you want to be if it aligns with your nature, and we'll talk about nature here shortly. All right. We're talking about self-mastery, moral compass, independent will, the ability to act, freedom of choice is big to me. You have the right to decide what kind of life you want to have, even if there are barriers in this thing, and then control and influence. Influence what you can influence, genuinely and peacefully accept that which you cannot, even though you don't like it. I told you earlier, I have 2 kids. I've been to school the last 10 years. I did a 10-year bid, getting 3 degrees. I've been in higher ed for the last 12 years. So that's a decade under my belt, right? I have 2 kids. Neither one of them want to go to college. Neither one. And I have to be okay with that because they have the right to decide. It makes me mad, but I still love them accordingly. I don't pay for their stuff anymore, but I still love them accordingly. All right. So, passion. Here we go. I really want to peel the layers back. I want somebody to tell me what passion is. What do you think passion is? Passion. I ain't moving until I get my answer. Passion. Kai, talk to me. Rashia, you're up next. Kai, what is passion to you? What does it mean to you?
I would describe it as like a drive or a motivation, just like your
Drive or
person.
motivation. Okay.
I would say like it's an emotion almost, kind of like a feeling, that kind of pushes you in a certain direction.
Okay. I'll take that. Rashia, what you got? Passion.
I was gonna say the same thing, like it's a drive. Also, I think it shows like your innermost like desires.
Ooh, nice word. I'm throwing candy to you. That was lovely right there. Innermost drive. Saba, talk to me.
Passion to me is dedication. Besides all the obstacles you came up in life, you shouldn't lose your faith of being successful. So, as I said, it's dedication to achieve your goals and flourish.
Dedication. Like it. Got it. Anybody else? Katie, talk to me.
I think passion is the reason why you start doing something. It's just a reason.
The why you do something. I'll take that. Miriam, talk to me. Passion, what is it?
Yeah, for me, passion is to be enthusiastic and keep going and keep working regardless of what other people will think about it. Just keep going, keep going. It's the passion for me.
So would you say it's the fuel that keeps you on the path?
Yeah,
I'll take
just
that.
keep
I'll
going.
take that. Good, good. Anybody else? So passion for me is here's what I want you to think about. Passion is the intersection of what you love, what you do, how you play in life. And I need you, and now this is going to make sense in a couple of slides. So I need you to find your passion. And the earlier you find that, I won't say the easier life going to be, but the better it is going to be downstream. And I say this. So here's the triangle. In each corner of one of these triangles, there are 3 questions I need you to answer. What are you passionate about? What are you good at? And what do you like to do? If you can answer these 3 questions within this triangle, now you've found your way. You've been pointed in the right direction where your gifts lie. All right. An example, I'm super passionate about education. I'm good at communicating and I like to help other people. Guess what I do for a living? I'm a teacher. And I decided that, ooh, I told you I went back to school when I was 35. So around 35, a light switch went off for me, and I was like, hey, what can I do? So this is my challenge to you guys. Figure out what you're passionate about. Figure out what you're good at. Figure out what you like to do. And in that triangle, ask yourself, can I earn my daily bread by doing whatever I just decided those 3 questions, the answer to those 3 questions were? Meaning, can I make a living doing it? Make sense? Passion, good, like. Now, can I earn a living doing what I just identified? The sooner you're able to do this, I'm telling you, the better your life is going to be. Because I teach for a living, as I've said 10 times now. I still have students that show up in my class and I ask this question: what do you want to be when you grow up? And you know they still don't know. So if I turn off my camera and I ask you guys, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? How many of you could really answer that question fully and completely, even at your age? Can anybody answer that question fully and completely right here, right now? It is 11:07, 6:26:24. Can anybody answer that question? Duncan can answer that question. It's 50 people on this call, and Duncan is the only one that can answer that question. So my challenge to all of you is I need you to give me answers to these three questions. Okay? Not literally, but figuratively. Okay? So this is it. All right. So here is the challenge: success, passion, talent, purpose, preference, power. And now my job is to line those three questions up that Steve asked me about. What am I passionate about? What do I like to do? And what am I good at? Now, some of you thinking this is hard, but who knows you better than you know you? Nobody. So you should know what you're passionate about, at least up to your age that you're at right now. Who knows what you like to do more than you do, and who knows what you're good at more than you do. So I have people that tell me all the time, Steve, I'm not really good at anything. All right, so now I'm a spiritual person. I'm a man of faith. My God, my Father has blessed us all with gifts and talents. He didn't eliminate anybody. Duncan, you asked me earlier, even with that disability, there's still gifts that you have in that triangle. So now let's go find them, and I'm gonna spend the rest of my life chasing that dream. Make sense? Is it difficult? Yes, I'm 52. Life is still hard. I still have obstacles. It still rains here as well. All right. But that doesn't mean we can't succeed. We can't be who we're designed to be. Okay. So align those questions and find our way, if that makes sense. All right. All right. So leadership. Here's a question. Let's get into some more business type leadership. What's the difference between leadership and management? Can anybody answer that question? What's the difference between leadership and management? Rasha, talk to me.
I think leadership is someone maybe you look up to, like maybe someone you chose or something, and management someone in a higher position than you.
Not incorrect, incomplete. Katie, help us out.
Well, I think that manager is the person who mostly organizes something, and leader is the person who decides and who knows what is better to do and tells the manager what to do and how to do. Like,
Not incomplete, just incomplete, not incorrect.
okay.
Let's continue to build on it. Ben, what you got?
I think management is like just the title. I think it's like they tell you what to do, but I think a leader inspires you and motivates you.
Oh, I like that. Leadership is about inspiring, motivating. Managers is about uh I don't like the word telling people what to do, Ben. I'm sitting on the fence with that, but I understand the premise of where you're getting at. All right, not incorrect, just incomplete. Saba, talk to me. We're still building on leadership and management. Go.
Yeah, I think management is a role, and which role is focused on efficiency and result. And leadership is the ability to motivate someone, and it is based on creativity, accountability, support, and leaders are usually humble, and we don't know managers were humble. So I
I'll
think
take that.
difference is role and ability.
Role and ability. I'll take that. Anybody else want to chime in? Nini, talk to me. Difference between
I
leadership
think
and management.
I think leadership is about setting a direction and inspiring others to follow, while management is about ensuring that the day-to-day operation align with the organization's goal.
Nini, great answer. Great answer. So, leadership is about leading people, doing the right things, deciding first things. Management is about managing things, doing things right, putting first things first. So, look at it this way. I think Nini just said, hey, I want these day-to-day operations things done right. Leadership is about the vision. in the next 5 years, I want this company to be the best thing. You see the difference there? Leadership, downstream, management today. Make sense? But ultimately, here's what leadership looks like. I'm a conductor, I'm an orchestrator, creating harmony amongst individuals that results in beautiful music together. I cannot play any of these instruments, but I know what good music sounds like. So that's what that's your head space as it relates to leadership, right? I may not can do what Ben can do, but I do know in the context of this team what Ben's role should be as it relates to what we produce. Make sense? Good. Leadership. Maximizing my potential and my character, right? So high character, how people experience me, high integrity, do things even when they are hard. Circle that one. Doing the right thing even when it's hard, and how you treat people in their absence. Integrity is big to me, right? And then high capacity. What I do well, I do. What I don't do well, I don't do. And I always get pushback when I'm face to face with students. Steve, well, what about enhancing my weaknesses? You can do that, but you are gifted to do something very well, and that's where you should sit at. All right? That's a leadership. What I do well, I do. All right? What leadership is not, it's not unilateral decision making. This is not your way of the highway married to being right. It's not absence of honor, disrespect in our tone and our behavior. That is not leadership. And you can't be the sole gatekeeper of the knowledge. Because if that's really the case, what happens when something happens to you? What happens to the business? All right? Character deposits, understanding, we've talked about. Seek first then to understand and then to be understood. Etiquette, I want to be polite, I want to be courteous, and I want you to be nice. Self-awareness, who am I, who am not. Integrity, we just talked about, never with the intent to deceive. Expectations, we talked about communication over the last 2 days. I want you to explicitly, clearly articulate the expectations day one, because I don't want any misunderstanding downstream. And then finally, don't be too prideful to say I'm sorry when you're wrong. Don't be too prideful to say I'm sorry when you're wrong. This is the second most powerful gesture to I love you. And people have the hardest time saying those two phrases. All right. Leadership, mindset, how you think, skill set, what you know, the tools that you have. Your toolbox is your capacity, your capabilities. How many tools do you have in your toolbox? Here's the key. On this journey, your job is to fill your toolbox with tools. I can do more than one thing, right? And then finally at the top right, principles, values, and standards. Truths that I live by are the principles. Values are the things that's most important to me. And then the standard is the least I would allow from self and others. Take a snapshot. This is important. How you think, what you do, and how much you can do, and what's your guiding principles going to tell you about that. All right. Leadership, vision, conscience, discipline, passion, motivation, inspirational, set the course of action, role model the desired expectation, identify the failure paths and the landmines. Hey, up, downstream on the right, there's a branch laying in there. It's gonna knock us off course. Avoid that. And then passion. We've talked about passion already, empowering people to do what they do, then get out of their way. All right. You will encounter some leaders who are micromanagers. I don't like to be managed that way. Tell me what I'm responsible for. Trust me to make the best decision and let me go. All right. Leadership. We talked about emotional intelligence. Put yourself in the seat of the other. Now react accordingly. Maturity, a responsibility to express. I have conviction and I have consideration. Relational intelligence, doing to others better than you would have them do unto you. Skills and abilities, the way that you think and behave. Learned competencies. All right. Yesterday we talked about win-win situations. Kai gave me some, Steve, that's not always possible. Kai was right yesterday. And again, I double down on, as a leader, your job is try to find the win-win in the solution. Situation, circumstance, and solutions are mutual beneficial and satisfying for organization, both me and the organization. All right. Keys. Trust is the foundation of any relationship. I want you to be highly considerate, respectful to ourselves and those around us. Nothing less of yourself. I'm sorry, humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. Empathy, we talked about. Self-awareness, we talked about. Synergy, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. No one person is bigger than the team. All right. Leadership, communicating to people their worth and potential so clearly that they come to see it in themselves. You're going to encounter people and teammates that they don't exhibit the same self-confidence that you have, and you're trying to instill that in them, which is a big job of your leadership. All right. Here's a couple of people that I fancy as it relates to top left, Bill Belichick, great football coach. Top right, his name is Ray Diallo. He's written one of the best books I think a business book is. It's called Principles. Bottom left, Nolan Powell and Stephen Covey is the bottom right. Leadership and teamwork, our faith are intertwined. Get leadership is complementary. It's where people's strengths are made productive and their weakness are made irrelevant by the strengths of others. All right? Leadership, self-mastery, not realizing what you want is a knowledge problem. Not pursuing what you want is a motivation problem. Not achieving what you want is a persistence problem. Here's my final for you today. Who are you to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure about you. We all are meant to shine. We all are meant to shine, not just some of us. I want to be inspirational. I want to be motivational today. That's my leadership thing. All right. I'll give you the next 15, 20 minutes to tell me, to ask me anything you want. I'll answer it to the best of my ability. Mind you, this is my favorite time of the 3 days that I spend with you guys, so make me proud. Who's first? Adrian, you're on the mic with Steve. Show me what you got.
Yeah, my question was, if you're comfortable sharing, what was like a time that you felt closest to saying, and this is whether like when you went back to school or when you decided to turn kind of your life around and doing what you want, when is the moment where you closest like almost gave it up, where you said like I'm working really hard right now and this is not worth it, or when you almost thought that way?
Well, so much for warming up. Let's get right into
Sorry.
it. I was working for a fast food company back in my day. My manager came in and said, Steve, your service are no longer needed. So I got fired from a job. And that time I said, this is not my life. I don't want anybody to be in control of my outcome. So I decided to go back to school. So that was 35. Adrian, about 38, I had just finished my undergrad. I decided to go and get my MBA, and there was a lot of writing in my MBA program, and I had an assignment, and I made a C on the assignment. I remember driving to work. I had 2 part-time jobs at the time. I remember driving to work and I started to cry because I made a C on something. I worked so hard at it, and I was like, "Hey, this is super duper hard. I'm working 2 part-time jobs and I'm still broke, and I'm doing all this work, and this crazy lady gave me a C on my paper." I pulled over to the side of the road, and I remember vividly. I remember crying because I just felt so overwhelmed and tired from all this work I was putting in. And then I composed myself, got back on the road. I went to work and I resubmitted the paper, and then we just continued down the road. There will be hiccups along the way, and there's nothing wrong with falling. The bad part is if you stay down there, dust yourself back off, get back in the race, and continue down the road. All right. So that was one of those pivotal moments for me, Adrian.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks for the question. Daria, talk to me. What you got? Steve, you on the mic with Steve.
Yeah, I have a question. So, what do you think? Is it important be sorry for yourself? Like, oh, I'm poor, I'm so tired these days. Is it
Um,
important?
are a great question. And sometimes this thing can get super duper hard but that's life. So part of my superpower is I can relate. I told you guys earlier that I check all the boxes of the disadvantage. Me and my mom were super poor. I had three pair of pants and one pair of shoes. We didn't have any electricity. My mom got sick super early. And there were times when I was like, yeah, I feel sorry for myself. But then you got to realize that the world doesn't care. So it's your responsibility to pick yourself up again and say, hey, this is what I want in life. This is what I want to be. Now, remember that triangle we talked about. You have gifts inside this triangle. You just got to find it. And stop. Here's what I really tell people. Stop trying to be something that you're not. If God didn't bless you with the gift of liking blood, then don't try to be a doctor, right? Find your superpower within that triangle, and now I spend the rest of my life chasing it. I'm good in sports. I'm good communicator. I'm good at education, and so naturally, this is where I should be, as opposed to I don't like science. I'm not a science guy, right? So there are times when I felt like yeah, I feel sorry for myself. But then you realize, like, no one on this call really cares. Outside of your mom and dad, no one really cares. Yes, I'm poor. Okay, what am I going to do with that? Yes, I don't have the latest Nikes. Okay, what am I going to do with that? Yes, I don't have a lot of friends. No one cares, Dara. So you're here's the principle of this. You are responsible for you, and you decide what you want to do with this gift that my father has given you. Okay, so you're allowed to feel sorry for yourself, and I'm gonna give you 60 seconds to do that. At 61, I want you to get yourself up and let's go get it. Okay,
Awesome,
nice.
thank you.
Duncan, talk to me.
Do you like if you had enough money and everything like that, would you go to school at a younger age, or do you think it kind of like shaped your future, what you had to go through?
What's meant to happen usually does happen. I always tell myself, even at 52, Duncan, I wish I would have been smart enough to go to school earlier because I could have spent more time in my prime.
Yeah.
I'm on my back nine now. And if I'd have went to school, let me rephrase that. I had a football scholarship. I played football at App State. I was super duper immature. I walked into the coach's office one day and I said, hey, I don't want to play football no more. So I quit. Quit college the first time around. I got a job and I spent 17 years doing something that I hated. So that's really how I got here. I wish I would have been smart enough to take advantage of the full scholarship. Then I wouldn't have $1 million in student loans now. However, everything happens for a reason. I just wasn't smart enough when I was your age, when I first got into college, to be disciplined, structured enough to play football and study. So to answer your question, yes, I wish I would have had this early on, the structure and the discipline to be what I needed to be to become who I needed to become. Does that answer your question, Duncan?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Saba, talk to me.
First of all, I have to say that these 3 days was one of the most important 3 days in my life because I learned so much from you. Thank you very much. And yesterday I told my CA, you are the kind of person I will do business in real life. So thank you once again. And I have actually two questions. First of all,
Saba,
have you
thank
ever
you for
had
your
a
kind words. Before you answer your question, I sincerely appreciate your kind words. I thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Go ahead. What's your first one?
Thank you. First question is, have you ever had a situation like you can't do something and you say, it's not my thing, I have to give up, and how did you come back? And second question is, we do some things with our motivation, but we know that discipline is essential. And how do you discipline yourself?
So the first question is, I'm not Saba, I know what I do well, and I try to stick with that, and I try not to step outside of my comfort zone. Some people will give you pushback on that. I'm not here to debate because it's not a primary issue. What I tell you, when I'm really good at something, I have a hard time letting you win. I have a hard time saying Saba beat me at basketball or Saba read more books than me. So that first part is I have a problem with giving up. Like if you beat me today, Saba, you're gonna have to beat me tomorrow. You're gonna have to beat me Friday. You're gonna have to beat me Saturday, and I'm coming back next week. I'm not the type of person that gives up until I finish the race or finish what I started. Right. So that's the first part. Tell me that second question again, because I got lost in translation as I was thinking about the first one. What was that
Yeah.
second one again?
How do you discipline yourself?
Ooh. Um, that is something that just comes natural for me after I had the experience when I was 21 and I was super undisciplined. Every day I'm up at 6 o'clock. I'm at the gym by 7. I'm playing ball till 9:30. I come home. I meditate. I pray. I listen to my worship music. I'm working because I do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and I do this every single day. So the discipline part for me is just this is the way I'm supposed to be. For me, this is what works for me. So again, I told you when that motivation fades, and the motivation never fades. I want to be young. I want to be Peter Pan, and I want to compete with younger guys. I'm gonna go find Kai, and I'm gonna see him on the soccer field, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, Kai, lace him up. Let's go." I'm just a competitive dude, and I know what it takes to be competitive. At 52, most of the guys I play ball with are 25 and 30, and I just know what it takes to be. If you want to be something, it takes something to be that something. And the discipline is the day-to-day work it requires to be that. If you want to be great in something, not just good, if you want to be great in something, the discipline comes in every day. I know what I need to do. I have a son who wants to play basketball. I said, "Did you play basketball today?" He said, "No." I said, "Then you really don't want this." He's not passionate about this. So the discipline comes when you know the end result of what you want to be, Saba. Great question. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate you very much.
Great answer. Thank you too.
All right, Brian, talk to me.
A question I have is, what do you enjoy most about your job?
Great question, Brian. Great question. I'm 52, 17 years ago, a light flickered. 12 years ago, a light went off into my life. And now I get the opportunity to help a light go off in your life. And so that is the greatest reward. That is the greatest gift. I can share my gift with people and see the light switch go off. So that is probably the best thing about my life. I get to share my gift with you guys, and hopefully it'll spark an interest in whether it be business, whether it be leadership, whether it be coaching, whatever that is, whatever that light looks like. I get to give back through my journey and experiences with you guys, Brian. Great question. I appreciate that. Katie, talk to me.
So I just also wanted to mention that if someone asks me what was the most memorable part of the Washington Business webinar, I would absolutely, without thinking, answer that Mr. Stevens' lessons. And like the moment when he was throwing his virtual candy to me, that was the best. And okay, my question is like, I'm in the period of my life when I have to decide what I want to do. And it is really hard for me to choose, should I follow my passion? But or like if I follow my passion, I might disappoint like my family. They might not understand what I'm into or what I like to do. And this is really hard for us and for teenagers to choose what we can do. So you also said that you regret about some things that you did in your younger age. So what we should do, like how?
So your question is, should I follow my passion or should I do what my parents want me to do? I don't
Yeah.
want to get you in trouble with your parents, so I'm gonna say this, and you tell them to call Steve. You have a right to decide what kind of life you want to have. And that means I want you to do, first of all, have a moral compass here, and I will always want to stray on the side of doing what's right. However, I want you to follow your passion. All right. Now, my son said, "Dad, I want to be a dancer." I was like, "Can you earn your daily bread dancing and then let the chips fall where they may?" So let's go back to that triangle. I said, "What are you passionate about? What do you like to do? And what are you good at?" And in that triangle, Katie, there is a million things that you can do. And
Yeah.
hopefully they'll line up with what kind of life your parents want for you. But at the end of the day, you are responsible for this gift that my father has given you. So you make the best decision for you right now. And I say chase your passion. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. And so, and sometimes that might not go. I want my son to be in follow my footsteps, but he wants to work for Amazon. Okay, still
Yeah.
my son. I'm cool with that. My daughter, she hasn't figured it out yet. We're working on that. Okay, but again, you all of you, you guys get to decide what kind of life you want to have. And if you're passionate about art, then go paint the world greatest picture in the world. So I'm okay with that. I stand by that. Follow your passion, Katie. Thank you for your kind words as well. Kai, my man, I can't wait to see you on the soccer field. Tell me when I can show up.
Can't wait to beat you too. My question is, it's actually kind of related to soccer. I try and be a leader on the field, but sometimes I struggle with teammates who
Okay.
I can motivate myself, but
Okay.
they struggle to be motivated and I want to motivate them. What strategies can I use to help motivate them in a way where I don't kind of look like a mastermind or like I'm trying to multi-manage, but microtask or whatever, but I just want to motivate them to be better. How do I bring them up kind of
Well,
naturally?
it's a couple of things. It's probably the thing that I struggle with now at 52. I'm still better than some of the 30-year-olds I play with, and I'm super intense and passionate about this thing. So if you're super intense and passionate about soccer, let that passion come out. I would say try to be nice, but sometimes in the heat of battle, the nice doesn't come out. I say lead by example. And if you're doing things the right way, now you can hold your players accountable for what they do as well. So sometimes that thing comes off as tough love, and I'm the best tough love giver. I'm okay with that. As long as you're role modeling the desired expectation. And for all of you, this doesn't have to be, on the soccer field. This could be in business as well. I show up on time, I give 100%. Now I can hold people who are impacting my winning and losing to the same standard. Remember, never let the standard drop. Never let the standard is the standard. The expectation is the expectation. Now, what I will tell you, everybody doesn't respond the same way as it relates to motivating. I can yell at some of my teammates and they will give me that. I can yell at my son and he will melt like hot butter. So you as the leader, you gotta know what motivates Steve, what motivates Adrian, what motivates whoever the case may be. That's the leadership part of this. How can I get the best out of this person and what motivates them? It makes sense?
Yeah, I understand.
Right?
Thank you.
Okay, can't wait to see you. Dara, talk to me.
Yeah, I have another question.
Okay.
Can you share your experience where you had to motivate someone who was not initially interested in this task, something like this?
Oh my
And
goodness.
another question, how can I
Hold
motivate
on,
myself?
hold on for the second one. Let me address the first one. I was just talking to Kai about motivation on the field. Let me rewind the tape and Kai, listen to this. At the end of the day, until that person gets the revelation of what they want to do or how to do it, you really can't motivate a person. I sincerely think motivation comes from within. And so until I decide, hey, I want to do this, hey, I want to do that, all you can do is give me a word of encouragement until I get a revelation that whoever you're trying. I have a daughter, she hasn't figured her way out. And every day we call on the Zoom call, it's like, hey, until she gets the revelation of this is what I want to do with my life. I'm just really being a cheerleader for her, trying to inspire her to be all that she can be. So I don't really know if you can really motivate a person until they get the revelation. All you can do is kind of be that support. Hey, I'm here if you need me. Hey, I know you can do this. I see this in you. And again, that's a part of leadership as well, Dara. All right. What's your second one?
How can I motivate myself? Like sometimes I'm so lazy, I don't want to do something. It's like
Self-motivation. It's almost like people don't change until it hurts enough for them to change, or they get bad news. What I don't want you to do is get the bad news and then you change. But again, it works the same thing for you. You have to get the revelation, hey, I want to be physically fit. Well, you don't get physically fit by laying on the couch. So how bad do you want this? Hey, I want to be smart. Well, you don't get smart by watching junk TV, mindless TV. How bad do you want to be smart? So now you have to ask yourself, Dara, like, how bad do I want whatever I'm trying to get at? And if I want it bad enough, then I'm going to demonstrate the discipline I need to do that on a regular and consistent basis. Make sense? Good. Like, thank you for the question. Yasiva, talk to me.
Oh yeah. It's Yoshi, by the way, but my
Sorry,
question
Yasi.
was, so was there any like key people or mentors that you kind of learned lessons from, and what were like the key lessons you learned, and how did that like influence your professional career and like your personal development?
So I told you earlier, I'm an only child. My mom passed away when I was younger. I don't have a relationship with my dad, and I don't have any uncles and aunts to kind of help me along the way. So when I got into higher ed, I met a gentleman. He's a former major in the Army. He's total opposite of me. He's old, he's white, he's short, he's not fit. But he has been probably the best mentor to me. He gives me books to read. He helps me out financially, meaning he taught me about the stock market, so now I can invest for my future. When I have a personal issue that I need help with, he's the first person I call. So he has been super duper influential in my life, and I never go a few days without telling him how important he is. So the moral of that story, to answer your question, is we all need someone to help us get to where we're trying to get to. And he's been super duper important to me to this day. And I met him in 2015 when I first got into higher ed, I think, at Fayetteville Technical College in North Carolina. So he's been super, super duper influential to me. He's been a blessing to my life. So hope I answered that.
Yeah, that was a great response. Thank you so much for answering.
Miriam,
Thank you so
talk
much
to
for
me.
being here.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you.
First of all, thank you for these 3 days. It was really interesting, and so I like it. What about my questions? Let's start with it. Every day, I write plan for my day. I write plan for my week, months, year. This is so detailed in minutes, hours. But in spite of this, I don't think that is maximum of control. So my question is, what is the maximum of control? How much can you control? And my second question is, what does it mean to be free?
Control. Your influence of control, your sphere of control. It's gonna sound vague, but I don't have a better answer for you, Miriam. I control the things that I can control, and that's just me. I can control how Steve drives on the freeway. I can't control how John is speeding by me. So you have to control, and it's really a you thing. And the other stuff outside of that sphere, you just have to peacefully and genuinely let it be what it's going to be, and just continue to do you in the manner that you need to do you. That's what control is. So when you say what is freedom to me, this is a great question. Freedom to me is I did what I had to do, so now I can do what I want to do.
Yeah.
I did what I had to do. So that means when I was 35, I did a 10-year bid to get my education. So your life is going to be built on pillars, right? You can take my parents, my family pillar, you can chop that and my house will still be up. My life will still be, it'll be wobbly a little bit. I have some friends pillars. You can chop that pillar and it may wobble a little bit, but it'll still be up. But there's one pillar that if you take away, if you chop away my education pillar, my life is totally different. My life is super duper different.
Yeah.
You don't get to see this version of Steve. So to me, freedom is doing what you have to do where you guys are in life, your season that you're in. Do what you have to do so downstream you can do what you want to do. Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and that's a great question. I never thought about it that way. Steve, how can I do what you do? Well, you got to want to do what I did. And that's secure your education, because that's going to open up avenues and doors for you. And now you have options. And all I ever want for all of you, options. All right?
Thank you. Thank
Nice
you.
question. Nessa, hello, ma'am. Talk to me.
So first of all, I'd like to thank you, like the others did. Me and company team members were talking about how passionate you are about what you're doing, and that makes your phrases even more motivational. So I want to thank you for that.
Thanks, Nessa.
And my question is about procrastination, because it is a huge problem in teenagers and not only. So how do you deal with it?
Procrastination. I'm not I'm not very sympathetic and empathetic as it relates to procrastination. I guess because my son and my daughters don't really listen to me. I'm such a disciplinarian. I'm such a focused person, but I'm 52. So again, and I can't remember who asked the question earlier. You got to think what's important to you, and now how important is it to you? And now that's going to lead and dictate your behavior, Nessa, as it relates to, I know I need to see, here's who I am. Gina sent me something and she said, Steve, can you do this for me? I don't like things hovering over me. And so I'm going to get that off my plate right now. So therefore, I don't like to procrastinate about things. So if it's in, remember those principles, those values, what are the truths that you live by? Those values, what are your priorities? What is the most important things to you? Now I sit in that space. My faith is important to me. My physical fitness is important to me. My education is important to me. My top 5 values, I stay in those spaces all day, every day, because again, it's my value. So I encourage you, even at this young age, write down your top 5 values. Now that's going to drive your behavior, where I am, what I do, and how I do it. All right, Danny, I have 3 more questions. Let me have an extra 5 minutes. I see you popped up on my screen. George, talk to me.
Yeah, earlier you said that you're a nerd and like to read. And can you advise something with what will be useful to read for us?
Oh, a good read. Whew.
Yeah.
I am a super duper. All right, so, oh my God, George, you asked if anybody is interested in something, and I want you to read Stephen Covey's 7 Habits. And when you finish reading the 7th, read the 8th habit. It's a good read, and it'll go back to what the last one said. It'll help you create these value systems where you won't be procrastinating, and you'll have some insight on how good people set their values and navigate life. It's an easy read. Read the 7th habit, the 7 habits, and then the 8th habit. It's a fantastic way to open up your horizon, so to speak. So Stephen Covey, the 7 habits of highly effective people, and the 8th habit, the second rendition of the 7 habits. I co-sign that. So check it out. Nini, and I see you the last one. Nini, what you got?
First of all, thank you for that 3 days. And my question is, what would be your advice to teenagers whose parents are killing their motivation?
My advice to teenagers who want motivation is, I'm always going to refer you to that triangle piece, right? So again, tell me what you're passionate about. And then again, let me rewind the tape. Guys, this could change for you. I thought I was going to be a professional football player. Obviously, I'm not a professional football player. So, but for now, I want you to identify those 3 questions and get alignment. Make your passion and your work one and the same, and you'll never work another day in your life. I haven't worked in 12 years, right? So I want you to tell me what you're passionate about. I want you to really analyze what you're good at and tell me what you like to do, and align those 3 things, and then just jump into your trajectory of what I want to do with the rest of my life. Now, again, this could change, but for now, you really need to identify that. And that's going to help motivate you. Steve, I want to be an artist. Well, if you want to be an artist, I expect you to be painting every single day, or doing something as it relates to painting every day, or reading or writing, whatever that it is. Now you need to stay there. Make sense? And that will help motivate you. All right. Last question, Ashai. Talk to me. You're the last one. You're the last one with Steve on the mic. What you got?
First of all, thank you so much for these last 3 days. It was very like insightful and like it was very helpful.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think we talked about this earlier, like someone mentioned it, but I'm a junior in high school, so like it's like around the time where like everyone's asking me like what I want to do in the future. So my question is, how did you know what you were passionate about?
Ooh. It happened to me super early. I knew I was in love with basketball and I knew I was in love with football. Because if you strip everything away, where do you spend your time and money? I stayed on the basketball court till the lights came on at night. I stayed on the football field till the lights came on at night. So I knew I was super passionate. And if you take me to 52 now, tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, you come to the LA Fitness, you're gonna see an old dude with a bald head in there with big baggy clothes on. That's me. I don't get paid for this. So what you do for free and where you spend your time and money, that's what you're super passionate about. You just have to open your eyes and be like, hey, what would I be doing if I wasn't getting paid to do this? And where do you spend your time at? I also read a lot. I have hundreds of books those are the things that I'm passionate about now. So it's easier for me. But when I was your age or junior high school, I was the same way. Football, basketball. All right. So you just got to sit down and be like, what do I observe yourself in these spaces and times and be like, hey, what do I really like to do and what am I really good at? And that'll point you in the direction of where your passions lie. Some people like to write, some people like to draw, so on and so forth. You just got to sit down and be quiet and be like, okay, Ashi, where are you? And what do you like to do with that? Okay. Alex, I know I said Ashi was the last one, but I saw your hand up and I don't want to be disrespectful. Did you have a question for me? Was that an accident, Alex?
No.
All
Sorry.
right. All right. So that was the last one. Hey, I want to sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for allowing me to share my gift with you. This is the best thing I do with my time, and I sincerely appreciate it. So thank you very much. All of you who had kind words to say about Stephen McKinnon, I appreciate it. I'm gonna get a email downstream and be like, hey, you remember me? I was in Washington Business Week. You were so, and that's all I want for all of you. Thank you for allowing me to be here, and hopefully I will get to see you guys.
Can we have your email address?
Danny,
Should be
Gina
on
has my
Google
contact
Classroom.
information. And if you need anything from me, feel free to reach out. I'm here for you. If you need some advice, feel free to reach out. But Danny and Gina have my phone number and my email address. So thank you guys. Enjoy
Hey,
the rest
Steven,
of your week.
can
I
I
will
tell
see
you?
you soon.
Like, I think you deserve one candy too, so catch that.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, guys. Have a great
Love
rest of
you.
your week.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
Everybody say
Steve.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Steven.
you. Thank you.
Much.
See you soon.
Thank you.
See you soon. All